So let's get straight into here. As you guys know, I am famous for being a GTA 5 roleplay. Detective skills are.
Office of the Medical Examiner, Beatsville. Dr. Jack Hadman is speaking. How can I help you?
Good evening, this is Kate Brooks. I'm not sure if you remember me. A few weeks ago, we talked about an article I'm working on. It's about your wife. I dropped by last Friday to speak to you, but you weren't working at the time. I asked the security guard to pass on a note for me. I would like us to discuss the topic of...
I thought I had made it painfully obvious. For the last time. No! Please don't call me again and stop inquiring about my wife. Damn journalists. They don't let me work. God damn it. I'm not in the best frame. What
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
They definitely pay me too little for this. Okay, time to pull myself together. And get back to work. I need to set up the camera first. But the word is, the lab will be open tomorrow. Another kidnapping this month. Let's hope I'm not caught short this evening. I don't see any need to mess with the electrics. They are flaky enough as it is. Now remember, Jack, don't forget, hit the record button this time. Now, I just have to get everything in frame. This should be fine. November 20th, 1991. Time, 8:43 p.m. Recording for medical students from the University of Missouri. This autopsy is conducted by Jack Hadman. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the autopsy room. Today, you will have the dubious pleasure of following a full autopsy, step by step. For those of you who have already performed your first autopsy, this will refresh your basic knowledge. In turn, for those whose knowledge is only theoretical, I advise not to watch this after a meal. Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife. I wasn't sure but the World Wide Web has been... Some of my previous cases, a reminder of more prosperous times. Let's start. Always wear an apron, mask, and gloves. Goggles are a must when the job is splashy. And in case of sharp accidents, it's worth having disinfectants at hand. It's true that you won't get ptomaine poisoning straight away, but if your liver or kidney aren't doing well, you may end up with diarrhea. Always wear an apron, mask, and gloves. Goggles are a must, and in case of sharp, it's true that you may end up with. The cadaver is placed on its back on the autopsy table. The pathologist stands on the right of the deceased. Tools are always at hand so that you don't have to run around looking for something, like I do all the time. In the process of revealing and securing forensic evidence, everyone will think you're talking to yourself. Inquisitive, but above all, attentive to detail. Many entries are now so. Persistently offered drivers to wash their car windows. The body was noticed by a station employee during the morning shift. Initially, he thought that someone had thrown some boots and a coat in a nearby ditch. It took him a moment to recognize the pile of clothes as the body of a man. He worked most of his life at the local port dealing with unloaded cargo. He was fired for being drunk and starting fights. His son runs a hardware store on his own. His wife left him years ago. They both had no contact with the deceased. Signs of libation were found around the body. Empty bottles, traces of an inept attempt to start a fire. That's it. It's worth remembering the context around the scene of a death. This allows you to better interpret any traces found on the body. I shouldn't start the procedure without gloves. It's been a while since the eye wash in this thing was changed. It's probably a health hazard now. A considerable collection. Now it's our turn to take some pictures for our files. If I can just remember where I left the camera. It's in here somewhere. Aha! There you are. I knew it was here somewhere. As I mentioned at the beginning, before we begin the internal examination, we need to document the cadaver and the condition it arrived in. We begin with a full body photo. Try and stick to the top-down rule, but this is not always possible. Voila! Now we move on to the next step, looking for traces. Take your time. Look at the corpse from different sides, from different angles, up close, and from a distance. You're looking for anything out of the ordinary. A boiler-healed wound. Looks old. I'll take a closer look later. Some wounds in the feet and signs of frostbite, probably because the subject's shoes were too small. That's something interesting. It will be necessary to check whether this injury was severe enough to cause damage to the brain. Hardened hands, worn out by physical work, and frostbite? In a moment, we will check which of our initial observations will be worthy of further consideration. But before we get to that, I need to write down some basic data. Scalpel, scissors, syringe. I guess I forgot to clean the knife. Personal information. The deceased was unclothed. Date. Okay, as you can see, I note everything down on previously prepared forms. Every pathologist must keep a detailed record of every step of the autopsy. This not only allows you to track the procedure, but also collates the results together, upon which you may back up your conclusions. So, enough of the boring prep. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the spots I photographed earlier. For this, you're going to need a magnifying glass. Which spot first? I can confirm the presence of ecchymosis on the deceased man's head. The appearance indicates the intravital nature of the wound. Add alcohol, which I can clearly smell, and this was an accident just when. It looks like a burn mark, no doubt painful, but it's not pertinent for this case. Here we can see frostbite on the fingertips. We can tell by the characteristic skin color. Definitely a painful mix of frostbite, abrasions, and blisters. Old Toby had been wearing shoes too small for him for a very long time. That's if he wore any at all. So far, there are a lot of superficial wounds, but only one serious injury to the head. Let's go back to our notes. First, I mark the location of the injuries and make notes for each one. So, even though this type of wound didn't contribute to the deceased's death, we're still required to record it. If Toby's body was cold for a prolonged period, the frostbite could have resulted in the head wound. Definitely an important clue. This is something we'll investigate first. We're not in frost season yet, but high humidity, wind, and the inability to warm up can also be causes of frostbite. As you can see, we don't have much to go on. Let's write down what preliminary causes of death we can think of. Considering the conditions in which he slept, his various types of accident, this is of no interest. The nights have been particularly nasty lately. We will check if there are any signs of freezing internally. Since the deceased clearly smelled of alcohol, I'll add alcohol poisoning to our list. We still have one thing left from the basics. Rigor mortis. Well, we take our deceased by the hand, gradually re-raise it, now let it go. As you can see, the hand falls loose. What's the conclusion? Death must have occurred more than 72 hours ago. The police information appears correct. Head trauma seems the most promising, so we'll start there. For this, I need an oscillating saw. The cut is made from ear to ear. After which, we remove the skin and the top of the skull. After the basic examination, We can see that the brain's cerebral gyri in both hemispheres are symmetric. The brain looks good. Let's take a cross-section. Some pathologists prefer to examine organs without removing them. However, for me, it's much more convenient to examine them on a board, which we'll do now.
What? Oh, okay. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the stream. Playing some Autopsy Simulator. So, some little education for y'all. Dissect the brain. Where is the brain? Where did I put that? Where is the cutting board? Oh, right here. Alright, here we go.
Holding a long, narrow blade knife in the dominant hand, we slowly cut the cranial nerves on both sides, all the time pulling the brain towards us.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Oh, shit.
So far, so good. The hematoma seems to have had no effect on the brain. Ugh, my head. Oh, I can't think straight. Ugh, my head hurts. I need my pills.
There we go. I don't know what those pills are, but I think I need those. Shit.
We can rule the fatal accident out as well.
Alright. What do I
Brain
do?
is in good condition, so we have no choice but to proceed to the internal examination of the other organs. I grab a scalpel from my kit. The
Scalpel?
incision should be in the shape of a letter Y.
Okay.
We use a deep cut to reach all the way to the ribs and to penetrate the abdominal wall. Alright, now we peel back and separate the skin.
Okay. Ooh, what the hell? Alright. Hand peel? Where's the hand peel? Oh, do I have to pull this up?
Now,
Yeah, there we go.
we need to remove the ribs. We'll need the loppers for this.
There we go.
Quite a satisfying crunch, for some anyway. After removing the cartilage tissue, we instantly notice two things. Firstly, there is no congestion of the internal organs. This means that although the deceased was hypothermic, it didn't kill him. Secondly, the deceased smoked like a chimney. So, we should take a closer look at those lungs. We can see widespread black and tarry deposits caused by smoking cigarettes.
Alright.
Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death. Alice smoked too. It didn't kill her, but... what was I talking about? Lungs. Yes. Advanced inflation.
Alright.